officially went out, haven't we? November muskies.
I think we're gonna get a November warm up.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So some preliminary things before we get into it. The chair is not present, the vice chair is not present. And we have D on virtually and remotely. Because we haven't designated a vice chair, I would believe it would be up to this committee here to elect a standing chair for tonight. I'm not gonna do secret ballot. If you guys just want us to throw out a name or something, we'll just run that as the chair tonight.
I'll throw out Mark's name because you seem to be very experienced in this.
You hear more than most of us.
I think you know more about it than I do, and
Yep, obviously more than I
I
do.
think you do a good job.
Are you okay with that as well, Dee?
You bet. Sounds good.
Go right up to the table.
Okay. And I will,
Because I think we're gonna be the only ones here. It's
I'll
2
throw it out
minutes.
to you then, Mark, if you want to start us off.
All right, we'll call the October Board of Appeals meeting to order. The public hearing before the Sawyer County Zoning Board of Appeals is hereby called to order at 6 p.m. in the Sawyer County Courthouse, 610 Main Street, Hayward. Roll call, Al, not here. Laura, not here. Mark Olson, I'm here. Gordy Christians.
Here.
Dee
Here,
Dublis.
here.
Me, not here. And Steve Kelsey.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Zoning, Jay is here and Pat Brown is here. Statement of board and hearing procedure. Those persons desired to give pertinent testimony will be afforded the opportunity to do so as recognized by the chairman. That person will clearly state their full name before giving testimony. Each hearing will follow this order: reading of the application, submission of the file to the board, applicant statements and presentation of evidence, testimony of those in support of the application, statement from persons in objection to the application, rebuttal as permitted by the board, and decision by the board. Orderly procedure requires that each side shall proceed without interruption by the other. All testimony will be addressed to the board and there will be no questions or arguments between individuals. Any person aggrieved by a decision of the board may appeal the decision to the circuit court within 30 days of the date following the board's decision letter. The day following the signing of the board's decision letter is the first day of the 30-day appeal filing period. Statement of hearing notice. This public hearing has been published as a Class 2 notice in accordance with Chapter 985 Wisconsin statutes in the Sawyer County Record and Sawyer County Gazette. The public hearing will follow this order: variance applications, new business, and adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one variance application here this evening. This is a public hearing for the town of Round Lake, variance number 20-002, James Mullen and Barbara Betts. Part of Government Lot 5, Section 30, Township 41 North, Range 5 West, parcel 024-541-305516, 1.54 total acres, zone residential recreational 1. Application is for the construction of a 10 by 22 attached bathroom and screened porch addition onto an existing principal structure located 26 feet to the closest point to the ordinary high water mark of Moose Lake. The proposed expansion would be 50.5 feet to the ordinary high water mark. Variance is requested as section 6.1 of the Sawyer County Zoning Shoreline Wetland Protection Ordinance, which would require the prior granting of variance for any new structures located closer than 75 feet with no other exempt structures or reduced setback provisions that would be allowed. As part of the staff report, again, this is for a 10 by 22 attached bathroom and screened porch addition with the expansion located at 50.5 feet from the ordinary high water mark. The existing principal structure is a non-conforming existing structure. The main purpose of this request is then to hook up pressurized water to the structure and add a bathroom. Currently, the property only has a separate composting toilet area and an existing shed beyond the required setback. Per the Sawyer County zoning ordinance section 6.1, this does require a 75-foot setback from the ordinary high water mark of navigable waters. The existing structure based on the current setbacks would not be eligible for any other type of exempt provision. With that being said, if the existing structure was located at 35 feet from the ordinary high water mark, then a 200 square foot lateral expansion would be allowed on this structure no closer to the water than the closest point of the existing. In other words, if the existing structure was located 9 feet further back from the water, the applicant could add on a proposed 200 square foot expansion to this structure with no variance being needed. Per the action of the town board, motion was approved with an amendment. The application was approved by both the Town Land Use Plan Commission and the Town of Round Lake Board of Supervisors, with a modification of the addition size be reduced to a 10 by 20 addition for a total of 200 square feet. Signed, Rolf Hanson, Chairman, Sharon Hack, Supervisor Sandra Shera, Supervisor Kay Wilson, Supervisor Marlon Carnes, Supervisor, and signed and delivered by Kathy McCoy, Town Clerk. There were 5 opinion letters sent out, 3 were returned, all through with no objections. I have no objections to this, Wendy Olson. I have no objections to this. This couple has done a superior job in maintaining the historic value of their existing structure and natural shoreline landscape. Jan Stapleton. I have no objection to this. William Dan Cormick for the Von Majori A. McCormick Trust. That is all.
Excuse me. So the DNR never did
The
respond.
DNR, no, a letter, email transcription was sent to them. This is the second time of the last 2 requests that an email has been sent to the DNR with no response back from the DNR as far as comments. This committee, 3, 4, 5 years ago, had recommended that we still approach DNR when it deals with a shoreline water setback variance, is to have their opinion sent back to us. And they did not respond back. I also tried to call both of the individuals that I've worked with in the past from the DNR policy coordinator standpoint, because I had an additional question for them, and that was as of Thursday, and I could not get back to them, or they didn't respond and left voicemails and still no response.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Must be the applicant sitting here.
Yes.
And just for the process portion, can we make a motion to go into a public?
Oh, sure. I thought we already did by you speaking.
No,
Okay.
that's the-
We're looking at Jay's having us switch right now till the chair's back, and it may proceed that way, to follow what our corporate counsel is asking us to do on the meetings, which is, first, we have a public hearing where we hear from people in the audience and the applicants and those opposed for. And then once we've heard from everyone, we close that section. And then we move on to 1A, which would be the discussion action. So we'd open with a motion to go into public hearing. Then when that's done, we make a motion to go out of public hearing. Then we make a motion to go in.
You don't necessarily need to make a motion to go into discussion action. You just make your motion as to what you
Okay.
want the case at that point.
Okay. And then we go in and it's turned over to the board to make their decision. So with that being said, I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing. Okay, we have Gordon and then Steve second.
Yep.
All right, now we'll get to the applicants. If you'd like to, whoever wants to go first, step up, give your
All right.
name for the record. And
I'm James Mullen. This is my wife, Barbara Betts. I couldn't describe what we're trying to do better than what Jay just did, but I will point out, and I think you've got a packet in front of you, that we bought a century-old cabin. Actually, it was built in 1904, when outhouses were standard issue and indoor plumbing was rare. We've lived there 12 years. It's a gem of a cabin. It's a piece of history. And what we're hoping to do is just add a small addition away from the lake that would allow us to have indoor plumbing and a bathroom and vanity and shower. Anyone add anything?
Okay,
No, I think that's good.
all right. Any questions of the applicants from the board?
Is this all gonna be on a slab? Concrete slab or with gonna
We haven't determined that yet. We're working with an architect. Well, actually, we've contacted an architect. Depending on how this goes, we will have them then draw plans. Would that be your recommendation?
Well, what's the rest of the building sitting on? Crawl space or?
Since it was built in 1904, I couldn't really say accurately what it's resting on.
It's probably sitting on timbers, and it looks like it might have had some concrete kind of
Concrete.
poured around the edges. I
Yeah.
don't think it's got a slab under it, to be honest. It was
I don't
built in
believe so.
1904.
Yeah.
I was looking around the whole building trying to see, and I think part of the retaining wall you could see in that back corner next to the house, there was some concrete there, but I
Yes.
couldn't see
Yeah, and I think that was done after the
Yeah.
initial build.
It
just
was.
Kind of shore up the
base
actual
there.
sill plate or something, yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't see anywhere underneath to see, being there's no water, there's no need for a crawl space, so. All right, I guess I had a few questions on, we're required to look at this using the three-step test, which was in the paperwork you turned in. And reading your answers, I did have a question on the unique property limitations. Basically, we have to have a reason of the property itself why this is requiring a variance. Like if it was a steep slope and there's one little flat area on the whole property, something that's unique on the property. Visiting the site, I mean, it's all the properties around there are all similarly situated with pretty much the same slope and in the same area. So I didn't really see anything that stuck out to me as a unique property limitation. Would you like to expand on that or or explain to me what your thinking or logic is on that?
Maybe I'm not understanding what the unique property.
You're required to have some limitation that's forcing you to come in to get a variance. Like if you had a really tiny lot and there was only one area to build, that you'd come in for a variance against a setback. So because your lot's so small to add on,
Right. Okay.
or there's a big pond in the middle of your half-acre lot that you can't build anything in a pond or a wetland, that there's limitations on the property for what you're trying to do. And you guys have, what is it, an acre, 1.54 acres. And we have to look at the parcel as a whole, that there's numerous compliant areas to build stuff on there or move stuff or.
So, and this may not actually qualify, but this was our reasoning, is that the uniqueness of the building is such that there would be no way you could ever reproduce something like this anywhere else on the property. And so all we're asking for is just to add the one convenience that would make it as livable as probably what you all live in.
Okay.
I think we're looking at it from a hardship perspective, of not having a bathroom that's in the living space.
Sure, I understand. Well, there's 3 steps and you have to
Okay.
pass all 3 of them is what
Oh, I see.
the law we're supposed to follow is. And unnecessary hardship is one, and then no harm to public interest is the third. Go ahead,
Can I ask a
Steve.
question? Would would it be a consideration that the proximity of that lake to that location of that structure in its position would qualify?
I guess that would be a question of the zoning
Because you can't-
administrator. I could give you my opinion, but.
You can't attach to that building.
Right, when you look specifically at a unique property limitation, you are looking at, kind of like a topography issue that Mark had stated, or a slope issue. Could the argument be made that, because of the historicness of this cabin and the inability to, physically pick this thing up and relocate it?
Because it was built in 2 pieces.
Right, I think that you could make that argument in this case,
that it is a unique physical limitation with where a 1904 structure was placed in proximity to the water. And then in that same breath, use also the argument that it is a hardship by not having a bathroom. Generally you would look at, like you said, a unique physical limitation that you don't have compliant area elsewhere on the property. In this circumstance, we do. But again, the likelihood of keeping this historic structure intact and relocating it to a compliant area is a 0% chance in this scenario. My 2 cents on it.
Then I guess my question is, you have a screened-in porch, and I know this has gotten, the town cut it down to a 10 by 20 addition now. But for just a bathroom, 10 by 20 is awful big for a bathroom. Three-season porch, I mean, I can't find anything that would justify a necessity of having a three-season porch in zoning law, but a bathroom, I can argue that that part can be a hardship, but what, I guess I don't know where I was headed with my question on that is, so did that change your plans at all, being they cut 2 feet off, or that didn't change anything? From what I saw in the drawing, it looks like the bathroom was going to be like 4 feet by 11 or 10 feet long or something in the
And
drawings.
it's a little bit restricted by where the actual entrance to the original cabin is. And then really up to we thought, I mean, we didn't want to enter and just have a bathroom, so we wanted just to have like an entryway with the bathroom and then the entry into the cabin. It's not like we envisioned this as being a 3-season porch, and that's been amended. It's really just an entryway and a seating area.
Okay, because, looking at your drawing, I don't know if it's to scale or not that you included in your documents. That bathroom looks like it's about 4 feet by 10 feet, and then the balance is all entrance or porch that you called on the drawing. Okay.
Another issue, I mean, we would love to have a little more living space. Right now, I do all my work on the kitchen table, and I'd like to not have to do that anymore, but I don't know if that's considered a hardship or not.
Okay. Dee, do you have any questions of the applicants?
Not at this point.
Okay. I guess we'll go to any other questions of the applicants right now. All right. I would entertain a motion to come up. I guess I should ask, even though there's no one here, but there might be someone online. Is there anyone else out there in support of this application that would like to speak? Anyone else in support of this application? Hearing none. Anyone in opposition to this application that would like to speak? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Hearing none. I would entertain a motion to come out or to close the public hearing. Motion by Steve and second by Gordon. All right, then we'll move on to the discussion action.
Discussion action for the variance request 20-002. Legal description is previously read into record. This application and variance application is for the construction of a 10 by 22 bathroom screen porch addition onto an existing principal structure located 26 feet from ordinary high water. Proposed expansion will be 50.5 feet.
All right.
Jay, if this occurs and it's in place in 3 years or 10 years, can they apply to put a main residence and keep that as a guest cabin, or will they be limited to this structure?
Yes, we actually did look at that, and the possibilities is, could you ever split this parcel? And it did look like you actually could split this lot and make another legal lake lot on this parcel. albeit challenging with topography again, and that the only site located on this would be on the top of a hillside, which would require quite a bit of excavation, kind of careful planning on that, but it does look like this property could be sloped.
Follow his question, which I think he was also referring is if the current applicants decided to build something else on this property, and it's not passed yet, but if the bunkhouse ordinance goes through, would those two be allowed on there then?
The bunkhouse.
That this could be considered a bunkhouse in the future? With our restrictions, it's one room,
Right.
except for a bathroom, and it's under 500 square feet. That, could this be considered a bunkhouse?
Well, in order to meet the bunkhouse criteria, though, you need to meet the Uniform Dwelling Code requirements, which unfortunately, I don't think the structure could meet those current requirements.
Okay.
So I'd be hesitant to say that you can convert this into what would truly be the ordinance amendment process that we're going through for a bunkhouse consideration.
Okay.
Yeah, now could you keep this as its own separate habitable dwelling on
Yeah,
its own
maybe you
separate
split
parcel
the
and split
property,
it,
yeah.
make another one? Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess, as I was kind of stating to the applicants, I mean, the property really doesn't have anything unique to me, and, looking at, if it was 9 feet farther back, then 200 feet would automatically, it wouldn't even come before us. That's 9 feet, 9 feet. But I remember back to the Clark variance we had a number of years ago, where we denied somebody splitting a lot off for 2.4 inches. That was 3 lots or 1 lot being split into 3. One part was sold off, but that one, was found to be, as for the convenience of the owner, he did it himself by splitting the lots and selling one, but it was denied because he was 2.4 inches short of the 100 feet required to make a lot. So 2.4, 9 feet, I guess in my eyes, it is a factor on that they aren't within that 35 feet. It's possible, also to stretch the unnecessary hardship, to say a toilet is a necessity in today's world. But right before I came here, I looked at my house and I got a powder room that has a sink and a stool, and it's 4 feet by 5 feet. And use it all the time. It's right next to our great room and our kitchen. It's used more than any other bathroom in the house, and it's 4 feet by 5 feet. And along those same lines, I used to come up here to a cabin, but that's immaterial, but there are numerous 500 square foot 3-season cabins in Sawyer County that have a bedroom and a bathroom in them. So,
I have a drawing of kind of
well,
how everything is situated, if you want, in terms of.
well, we could take it, you won't get it back, but I guess that would
I mean,
be beneficial. Pass it around first.
this one,
Well,
this one has a,
are they the same?
no,
This one.
And unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you this.
I can,
That's not the camera. The camera's actually in the back there.
okay, it's kind of 2 open areas right now currently with a walkway between, looks like I guess I call one the original one and add-on.
Very good.
So the camera's in the ceiling, or where is it?
Yeah, the little black ball on the ceiling there.
So you can see what Dee's seeing on yours, and
Yeah, well, Dee can see all of us,
Okay.
shines down on us, but I literally have to go over there and.
Yeah, I could do that if she wants to see it. I mean, I looked in, there was no curtains. You could see right in when I was over there visiting through the front door.
I don't know.
No.
The situations where the windows and everything, I'm not sure.
You see that, D?
Kinda.
Yes, I can, and thank you. I can see it good. The two parts there, yeah.
Okay.
Technology is wonderful.
Sure.
So I guess where I was headed with that is there are similar three-season cabins all over Sawyer County that have a bathroom and a bedroom and the kitchen area. Normally the kitchen area and living area are one room, and then on her drawing you'd split, you know, the bedroom and then add a bathroom. But
I would say though that those places were probably built with that in mind when they first built them, but when this was built, it wasn't really built with bathroom in mind, so the configuration.
no, I understand that. But, any comments or?
I'll make a comment. Being on site, viewing it, I was able, they showed me the interior so I could understand how the structure was created and exists. The vast majority of this would be beyond the cabin, out of sight of the lake, with the extension over the existing deck. The buffer is, in my mind, excellent. I guess if I were to make a proposal, it would be that the buffer be maintained and not changed, because I think the impact on the water, from the water, would be minimal, certainly less than many of the boathouses, a restaurant, bar, and other things on the lake that are over the water. My personal feeling is maintaining that buffer would be critical if anything were to be proposed and approved.
When you say the buffer, you talk about the trees.
The trees, the shrubbery,
The natural area. would be
natural area
35.
between the water and the,
Yeah, that will be.
because I think that's real critical. Too many people abuse that situation
Yeah.
on the lakes.
We've been planting a lot of trees. Right,
I think
right
that's
at the
excellent.
cabin, so.
I'm sure you have trouble finding the cabin sometimes when you're coming back in the pontoon. Where is it at?
In the old days, yeah. And
Trips from Louis.
Yeah, right.
Well, like I said, I myself, I can't pass the three-step test myself, so, so I'd have a hard time approving it. I can, like I said, I can see where they could add a bathroom in the existing structure. I mean, state law is pretty specific on, you know, once you're within that 35 square foot, you know, the law changed over the years, but now they allow vertical expansion, which that wouldn't work out on this property, but they don't allow any expansion of the footprint, and for a reason, too close to the water. Like I
That
said,
could be viewed as another physical limitation of property, be it physical limitation of the structure, inability
but
to have a second door.
But on a variance, the variance goes with the property, not the structure. So if you're using that, they tear down the structure, then,
You could rebuild.
I
it
mean,
back.
it's not part of the property then.
Correct.
So, no, I hear what you're saying on that. If, I'd be tempted, like I said, to make a motion to deny. just following the legal guidance, but if other people were so inclined, I would, if somebody was looking to say they couldn't fit a bathroom in there, which I say you could, that I'd even limit it smaller, and it could still, it'd be a maximum of 9 foot by 9 foot is kind of what I envisioned, which would follow, it would follow the southwest corner of the existing wall back, and it would basically fit within their retaining wall that's there, the 2 retaining walls on the outside of the entrance to the property. So you'd go 9 feet back from that southwest corner along the house itself, and then 9 feet out from there, which would fit within that retaining wall area, which would provide enough room for a 4x5 bathroom, which you can fit a sink and a toilet in, and still allow access as your front entrance into the house with a 9x9. We're required to look at the minimum requirement, to meet whatever we feel zoning is restricting them on that they have no alternative to. So 9x9, I think, would accomplish a bathroom and keep an entranceway into the house.
Mark, in that thought process, 9 or 10 by 14 would keep the lines of the existing house without going beyond, so to speak, as a luxury.
Well, it'd require them to dig in further.
They're gonna have to dig in anyhow.
It'd be into the retaining wall.
They're gonna have to dig in anyhow.
Right, but No.
That's,
I'm
Personally, I
saying
don't
you're
see
not, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that's more than enough room to accommodate a bathroom and an entrance into the house. But like I said, I can't go along with an approval, and just throwing out an alternative if I make
One
them.
problem I see with that alternative is you still have to go outside and get in it.
No,
Well, if you look at the diagram here and what the building is, to get a door, standard height over that slope, the roof slope,
which
you're gonna do it. The roof slope's down and back.
Yeah.
So where would you put a door?
Well, it's 9x9. It'd be coming in the same way they're coming in now if you follow the roof.
But you, okay.
Yeah, it'd be a shorter, it wouldn't go all the way back. It'd be a smaller one. But like I said, I was just throwing that out there that, it's supposed to be the minimum needed to, according to the law, to satisfy whatever we feel, or the people making the motion would feel the deficit is due to the regulations.
Just to throw one other thing, instead of putting a dimensional requirement, maybe you just want to put a square footage requirement, because in speaking with their architect, maybe that 9x9 just doesn't work out. Maybe they want to go 14 by 6, which is 3 square feet larger than 9x9.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to cap it as a square footage, because they might have to go that full width, which would be the 14 on the back as opposed to a 9x9.
Yeah.
Just to keep that in mind during discussion.
Yeah.
I would be comfortable with the full 14-foot width because it would allow your entry door to come in basically at grade without causing any issues. The retaining wall is not going to stay there because they can't do it. I mean, you're going to have to tear in and create a foundation or a slab or something, but that would allow you to come in at grade. I think you have an entryway which isn't an exorbitant thing, but that gives you adequate bathroom and travel into the cabin through the door and not have to change the historic structure. I'd be comfortable with that. I just throw that out there.
So what was your measurement, 14 by, or what was your square foot you were saying?
Well, I don't want to
No, that you-
Should be approved. You were saying 9 by 9.
Yeah, I was saying 81.
square feet.
So you were saying 85.
14 by 6 is 84 square feet. Again, I don't want to say that that's what this should be, but the 14
No, the 14 makes sense.
probably easier from a design perspective.
But given the location of the door in the center of the wall, is a 4x6 bathroom going to be adequate?
Personally, I don't
Probably,
think so.
probably not. I think 9 or 10 by 14 with the existing wall lines is entirely functional and it's not absorbent. I make a motion to approve 10 by 14 in line with the existing walls of the cabin. And I guess that would be my motion. And for the buffer to be maintained, and no changes in the yard area on the lake side of the home.
Would you want to amend your motion before it's seconded to say 84 square feet instead in case the architect? Or do you want to limit it to the width of the existing cabin, basically? That's what you're saying.
Well, I would be comfortable with the 10 by 14 to give them adequate room for a safe, functional. The day may come that, God willing, somebody's in a wheelchair. You can expand the doorway into a bathroom, make it a little more accommodating. I think that gives them enough space to do plenty of safe and functional addition. So I guess I would propose or amend it to the 14 by 10. And that would allow for the doorway to be at grade most likely, depending on what their designer helps them.
So, and then you also said retention of the current buffer zone is required.
Correct.
Want to add a 2-year time limit to obtain a land use permit?
I'm sorry, Mark.
Want to add a 2-year time limit to obtain a land use permit?
I would propose that this be accomplished within 2 years.
So we have a motion on the floor for maximum of a 14 by 10 addition in the same area laid out in the application. With the following conditions: retention of the current buffer zone is a requirement, and a 2-year time limit to obtain a land use permit. Is there a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Like I said, I'm not voting. I'm voting against it just because I can't, under the law, see how it fits. But they've had use of the property for 22 years the way it is, plus prior to them, but going back to 1904. Granted, the bathroom's outside, but as I said, there's lots of 500 square foot cabins in there where they just add a bathroom inside. This one could easily do that, and they're just too close to the water for. That's a lot of runoff, which with the slope of that land's can go right into the lake. There's no way to stop it. So
That's what the buffer helps with, though, Mark.
yep, no, I agree. But when you got a slope, so I was just making my counter arguments.
Yep.
And, is there any further discussion? If not,
Roll call with this.
okay, yeah, we have someone remote. Let's do a roll call vote.
Let's see, Mark,
Deny.
Steve,
Approve.
I approve, or would say yes.
Dee,
Yes.
yes, approve,
Approve.
Gordy,
Yes, approved.
Okay, motion carries 3-1.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
I'll just will write up a letter and send it to you then.
thanks so much.
Great. Thanks.
Moving on, new business, we have the approval of the 2021 meeting dates. I needed a motion to approve that. You have copies, looks like it.
Yeah.
There's one there.
So
No, I do not.
BOA is, not to be confused with like the lighter peach color as holidays. So we always look at the November date because that's a national holiday around here. And that would be the Tuesday before the Saturday gun opener.
So that's the 16th,
Correct.
and having a hard time distinguishing the colors, okay.
Yeah,
So
And
you've
then,
already accommodated the national Wisconsin holiday then? Okay.
yeah. Christmas, you look at that one, that's the Tuesday before Christmas. And then we can move that too if this board so chooses. But everyone else, it's strictly set on the third Tuesday of every month.
No, I'm fine with it.
We need a
The,
motion.
the only one I would maybe, if it was possible for others to move the December one to the 14th because of travel, and some people go to see family and leave that few days ahead. That would be the only
I
question.
agree.
Gonna make that motion,
I'll make a motion that the December date be moved to the 14th.
and then the other days,
Are all fine?
I'm fine with all of them besides that.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor of approving the dates with the change of December from the 21st to the 14th?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Any other business?
No, I know you're gonna put this on to discuss with our chair on splitting it, but we always run into the problem where we like to discuss with applicants and ask questions. I let them go on tonight. Technically, I should not have let them speak.
It's up to you.
So I know the chair has that option.
Yep.
But if you let them speak, then so doing it this way where you're shutting them out, well, it's just something to think about when we bring it up.
This is what legal counsel has suggested, and you may not get my
But Turner,
correct. I'm going with what they
Right.
suggest at this point.
so we can override you.
Sure.
Okay.
We didn't do a three-step test, unless I missed that.
Oh, findings of facts.
Oh, finding is back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we need findings of facts.
Yeah.
I think the hardship is a lack of indoor plumbing. The unique site.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily go through the three-step test, as
Okay.
it is like findings of facts that it, you have to cheat sheet.
Don't even use a cheat sheet. State your reasons.
Right, it's not contrary. to literature.
It's not a self-created hardship. It would certainly not be damaging to the rights of others. And I respect what you said about runoff, Mark, but I don't feel it's going to be detrimental to the ecology, wetland, or shoreline with the buffer retained. Do you have to pick as many as you can out of this?
No,
I'm
no,
learning.
three's fine.
Okay. I would be comfortable with that.
Okay. Yeah, as far as other business, next month we have another variance case. And also an appeal. I don't want to speak on the appeal as of right now, because it is an administrative appeal about a determination that I made. So you will get the information for that, and I will make my claim as well as the attorneys that are appealing me are making their claim.
So who is going to be representing for council for the board for us?
So the board itself, I don't think has,
I would recommend we get one, being there's other lawyers that'll be there. In the past, we've had, he's retired now though,
Ward Winton.
Ward Winton, but he still may be available. He still does a few things for our town, but he doesn't
Right.
do full time.
I will ask our legal counsel, who has also said that she would represent me, but I don't know if representing me represents the board.
In the past, it's been separated.
Okay. We don't experience a lot of administrative appeals, so it's kind of a guessing game for all parties involved. So I will certainly look into that. Can you write that down?
Well, we had the one in the town of Hayward with the car
And,
guy, and we had Ward, and she represented the zoning
right, I'll
office.
see if I can't get Mike to do it, because that's gonna be a conflict.
Yep.
TJ's already said he has a conflict. Our legal counsel, Rebecca Roker, is representing me. Things are getting thin for the board. But I'll try and find some.
So 2 of them, okay.
And then we do probably are gonna have another 2 variances in December. If
So
not
next
3.
month, we're the second Tuesday, right? Because of deer hunting.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Or no. No, I don't think it does. think
I don't have a calendar. I thought we changed it last year.
Yeah, deer season is not till the 21st this year.
Seems like every year our chair changes deer hunting week.
All right, please.
Yep.
It would be the 17th of November, which is the 3rd Tuesday.
Okay,
So it is the Tuesday before
before.
done deer, which,
Okay.
yeah, hopefully you're not already out in the woods, unless you're going.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Gordy, second by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Dean.
Bye.
Good night, Dee.
Good night.